I'm live. Wow. Started a little sooner than I thought. It was live for 10 seconds sooner than I realized. I'm gonna be doing something a bit different today. So I'm gonna do a short little live. I know I promised you part two of the training. If someone wants to do that, I have last week. I have I'm sorry, I have the pre-recordings from last time I did that training, but I'm gonna do a little different today. I'm actually gonna change these lives a bit moving forward. I'm going to give you a big Facebook announcement today. Some of you who are pretty active might have already heard about it, but if you're not, I'm going to go through it right now today. So, quick little backstory. So, a few months ago, Facebook killed notes on pages, and today I finally realized why they killed notes on pages, why page notes or notes on pages are dead. They're kind of like docs on Google. They're stored in groups. And today's big announcement, I realized why Facebook decided to kill that. And I'm going to go through their announcement, what I feel about it, what I think is going to happen. I've been around the Facebook marketing for going on 12 years now. So I think I have a pretty good pulse as to what I think they're going to do with what they're announcing. And with that, I'm actually going to share that. Let me see. Hold on. Going to bring that up to the screen. They announced something big today. And let me know in the comments if you think you know what it is before I even say it. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. I'm going to go through what they announced. Let me see. Yeah, I need to just add it. Wait a second. There we go. So today, funny thing what Facebook is doing. Facebook announced something they called Bulletin. And what the heck is a bulletin, right? I mean, it sounds so different than anything else they've ever offered. And really, it's newsletters. It's like, I heard that and I'm like, what? Newsletters? Paid and free newsletters. So it seems so, I mean, like 10 years ago, right? But yes and no. Really, they're calling it, some people are calling it newsletters, they're calling it a bulletin. It's just the ability, basically, they're giving big names the ability to have a lead capture community that we've been teaching for years. They're finally doing it. They're having a system like that for, they're starting with some beta teams, some big names in the industry. I'll scroll down to maybe some names you might recognize on the screen. But you're going to have the ability. You can go there now. You can go to bulletin.com right now. You're going to have the ability to subscribe and get, I mean, it's a newsfeed. It's notes. I mean, if I could say it's blog, it's really a blog you can subscribe to, and it could either be free or it could be paid. I mean, I guess that's a better way to put it. Some people are calling it a newsletter, but it's every time I hear the newsletter, I want to barf. Excuse my language, but I do, because it's just screams spam. But what Facebook did, they're really trying to steal from Twitter. I mean, they've been trying for years now, and they were trying to get the more people are used to creating content, right? The quote unquote the top tier experts in different fields to create content and connect with users, which is weird. Facebook's been more democratizing the content creation process, having everybody participate, but they've been losing out on some of the big name experts, and this gives them a platform to do that. And really, it's a subscription as well, so it's a membership. We've talked about memberships here for years. So it's not anything different, just Facebook's officially doing it. So you can either have a free subscription or a paid subscription, or you can offer both, and there will be groups attached to them. So they're doing big things with this. Here's my prediction with this: since we're big on memberships, I really feel they're gonna focus on big names, and they're not gonna really pay attention to quote unquote the little guy. So if you and the little guy means you're not famous, right? You're not a big national or global brand like some of these names, or you don't have a big publication like that. But they do have a beta group. They say they're going to be adding more and more people each week. You cannot enter that beta. I don't suspect they're going to open that beta for a long time, but this is their attempt at really creating something they feel is going to survive even if Facebook dies. So yes, I said it. Even if Facebook dies, I think we got Facebook for at least a few more years, but we don't know what could happen. But they do feel like, hey, what if Facebook were to die? What's next? This one is very different than anything they've ever added to Facebook. It's completely independent. It's a different domain. Go ahead and check it out. If you actually try to, it's pretty interesting. If you try to subscribe, like if I visit, let me see, not this one, but I've read his books. Let me see. Visit publication. I've actually already subscribed. That's weird. Maybe not on this browser. Uh, Subscribe. Already subscribed. Yeah, so I'm gonna try a new one and see. I think I may. Yeah, I'm already logged into Facebook. But what's weird from an app developer standpoint, this is not like Messenger where there's no allow process. They're treating this as a separate entity completely. So to me, this is Facebook saying, "Hey, we got something that may survive even if Facebook is not around anymore." I mean, I suspect if things change with Facebook and Bolton does pick up, they're probably going to allow people to sign up with an name and email and not even need a Facebook account. In fact, the free stuff, I mean, the public content that these speakers are creating, that's available even if you don't sign up. So something, I mean, I think it's cool. I think you should play with it just to see what's going on. My take is this something you have to worry about today? As a consumer, sure, it's something cool to do. As a business owner, no, don't lose sleep over it. You can't do anything about it. You can't launch your own Bolton yet. It's sort of like Medium. I don't know if anyone's ever used Medium, but you can't do your own Medium page and start creating content or blog yet. So it's not really, there's no value in it for you in terms of a business owner because you can't be one of the experts, or even if you're not featured, you can't have your own space in Bolton right now. So this is not something you need to look at. I have a lot of interest in this because obviously I'm in the membership subscription game, but I would not care too much about this right now. I think it's cool and I'll follow it as a consumer. But in terms of a business owner, my vote is a no. You should not need to pay attention to it. Although, go check it out. Have fun with it. I mean, I like what Malcolm Gladwell puts out. I've read his book, so I am going to sign. I already subscribed, and I am going to get some stuff with him, and so I'm going to get the user experience from that. But really, it's not anything you can do right now. And I suspect there's a chance that they will never open it up to the regular person. So unless you have a blue check mark on your name and you've been in news, or you're a journalist, or you're an expert in the field. I mean, like those people who create those master classes, if you're not a big name, they probably won't open the door for you for a very long time. It's what I suspect. If it dies on them, then you definitely won't get the chance. If it doesn't die, start succeeding, I don't think it's going to be a lot of hurdles to get through to have a Bolton account, because they really, it's interesting, on the live call that Mark Zuckerberg did, they had their person in charge of news relations, the relationships they have with the news media. And so, which tells me, all right, if this is the person that's in charge of this whole operation, or she's heavily involved, then they're really after really professional content creators, not someone like, let's say, a fitness instructor that creates some content because they want to make some money on Facebook or online, but a big name, right? So that's what I think is going to happen. But you know what? It's good to have some ideas. It's good to see what they do there. I'm definitely going to look at that and see how we can emulate our own little version of Bolton before, like I said, because I don't think they're going to open the door for people to jump in on it. But that's my really 22 cents on the deal. Here's what is happening down the pipe that I suspect. But I mean, actually, no. Before I even go there, I'm going to go through some stuff in Bolton so you can kind of get familiar with some of the things that they have to offer. So some of the creators, some of the publications. So it looks like they're having publications as well as creators that they're featuring. There's some articles in there. It's actually very limited right now. I'm really surprised there's not a lot more content there, which is weird, right? I don't get it. They must have the reason, or they couldn't get enough relationships fast enough. But they do say how they selected the creators for the beta program. It is closed. It says independent creators, journalists, or subject matter experts. Do you have to pay for the extra articles? It depends. Some of them are free, some of them are not. How do transactions with Bolton creators work? They're going to use their Facebook Pay platform. If you've ever bought ads or anything else from Facebook, you probably are, or you have a Facebook Pay account. But they're not keeping any money from this. So they really want this to grow. I think they're going to they know, I mean, obviously it's a new project. They know it's pretty much nothing right now. It's a new ordeal. So they're not going to keep fees from creators. So that should attract some big name creators. Anyway, I mean, anything else? Let me see if there's anything else worthwhile looking at. Why is the product on a separate website and not on Facebook app? It says we built Bulletin on a separate website to enable creators to grow their audience in ways that are not exclusively dependent on the Facebook platform. Branding on Bulletin publications will be creators first, and readers will not need to be logged into Facebook to read free content. So yes, they are going after that professional content creator, not you and I. Yeah, and I've been creating content for a long time, and I'm still like at the bottom of that list. So yeah, we're regular people, okay? So plans for international creators, they'll be launching the US first. Only 2 non-US based creators at the launch. Wow, okay. So that's interesting. It's something cool. I mean, I think it's gonna honestly at the beginning it's gonna suck because there's only like 5 featured creators. There's probably less. I mean, I don't think there's any more than those. But so it's not a lot of content. It's not like you're gonna replace where you get your news by going here, or where you read articles or magazine subscriptions. So it's actually gonna suck till they actually get more content creators in here, because you may not like what these creators have to offer, right? It might not be your thing, but I think it has a chance of doing better. The fact that Facebook's not going to charge for it, the fact that not going to keep fees from the creators, and they're building their own separate thing, I think they really want this to succeed. And just nothing that you might necessarily care about, but just from the high level view of it, they're really thinking, what if Facebook was to fail today? Like the actual fate, not Facebook platform, not Messenger, not Instagram, no, the actual Facebook original app network. What if that was to fail? What else do we have, right? And I think this is something that can potentially survive beyond Facebook.com, beyond the Facebook app. So it makes sense that they're having contingency plan. They don't want to be the next MySpace, for example. But anyway, check it out. See what you think. I think, like I said, don't expect to see a ton of content. It's a cool concept, but also it's next week. Here's what I'm going to do next week. I'm going to talk about public groups. I know you probably heard that there's the new experience of public groups. I'm going to do a quick analysis of what I think is going to happen with Facebook groups. I won't let it out of the bag what I think is really happening in terms of what's happening with public groups, how they relate to closed groups, and how they relate to pages. So I'm going to go through just some of the differences of the 3 and how the relationship between all 3 really is going to change because of the way the new public groups are set up. But that's pretty much all I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to go through that next week. I'll give you a quick analysis of what I think, what my thoughts are on that. And for now, I mean, if you want to hear more from me and learn more about our software, I will tell you, here's what you got to do, which is go to become a dream builder. See 22s.com. That's a domain. That's how you're going to get a link. You're going to enter our mailing list. You're going to be notified when we have new videos and new training. Also check out our software and also be part of our community. So if you want to stay up to date on that, you definitely can. So I'll see you guys next week. Peace.